On behalf of the Town of Wallingford and the Wreaths Across America organization, the New Haven Marines and Associates, I welcome you to today's ceremony. We gather with deep respect and gratitude as the National Convoy travels from Columbia Falls, Maine to Arlington National Cemetery to remember, honor, and teach. Years ago, I asked my friend Colonel Jack Lechner, who is the superintendent of Arlington National Cemetery, when he stopped getting shivers driving through the gates, and he said, "I never have." We gather together today on this solemn occasion because it's our duty as fellow citizens to gather and to pay tribute to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for us. Your presence today reflects the strength of this community and our shared commitment to ensuring that no veteran is ever forgotten. It is now my honor to introduce Major Justin Hardy. Major Hardy will ask us all to stand for the posting of colors and to remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem.
Detail, halt, center, face. Present, color.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and please remain standing as Natalie Jamber offers our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at our twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, cut. Ready, face. Forward, march.
Please be seated. Thank you, Natalie. As we begin, I invite you to reflect briefly on the purpose of this day. Every wreath carried by this convoy represents a life lived, a family that sacrificed, a promise kept. These wreaths remind us that remembrance is not passive. It is an active choice that shapes who we are as a nation. Wallingford is proud to stand along the route of this most noble journey. We are honored to welcome several distinguished leaders who are present and bring greetings from the state of Connecticut. I invite Senator Paul Ciccarella of the 34th District, Representative Donna Veach of the 30th District, State Representative Craig Fishbein of the 90th District, State Representative Mary Mashinsky of the 85th District to come forward. They will present citations recognizing today's ceremony and the mission of Wreaths Across America.
Thank you. I'd like to start by thanking all of the veterans and their families that are here today. I'd also like to thank the mayor's office and the town that made this possible and have such a warm welcome for Wreaths Across America. It's amazing what they do, and those core values, their motto that they live by, embodies what Wallingford truly believes when it comes to veterans. They remember, honor, and teach. And that's so important, and it's so important, that teaching part, that our next generation understands the sacrifices of our brave men and women. And today is a great example of that, and it's just absolutely amazing. And I'd like to turn it over to Senator, give me a promotion, Representative Fishbein.
Actually, in the House, we call that a demotion. But anyway, this citation that comes from the legislature says it's gives its sincerest congratulations to Wreaths Across America. Your steadfast commitment to honoring our veterans and active duty military through the annual escort to Arlington. The Wallingford delegation extends its gratitude for your dedication to remembering the fallen, honoring those who serve, and teaching future generations the value of service and sacrifice. Dated today, and my only question is, who am I presenting this to? But presented from the legislature. So, thank you. And I turn it over to Representative Mashinsky.
Greetings from Representative Liz Lenahan, who had to work today and could not be here with us, but is with us in spirit. And I also want to let you know that Lindsay Jessup, who is a Wallingford native and is the manager of communications for the Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs, is with us today, and she will be laying a wreath at the end of the ceremony. I have the statement from Governor Lamont. It's too long, so I'm going to abbreviate it for you. Too long for the time allotted. Whereas the state of Connecticut joins communities across the nation in acknowledging the service and sacrifice of our veterans, and in reaffirming our solemn duty to remember those who served, to honor those who sacrificed, and teach future generations about the value of freedom. And whereas in 2025, the Wreaths Across America convoy will stop briefly in Wallingford, Connecticut, to recognize the town's leadership and steadfast commitment to honoring our veterans and supporting this national effort. Therefore, I, Ned Lamont, Governor of the state of Connecticut, do hereby officially proclaim today as Wreaths Across America Day in the state of Connecticut, signed by Ned Lamont, Governor. Thank you.
Thank you to our representatives of the state. I now invite Wallingford's Mayor, Vincent Cervoni, to offer words of welcome and present a town proclamation.
Thank you, Matt. I want to take this opportunity to thank those who made today possible. We had Roz Gallagher from Public Celebrations, Bob Beaumont, Bob Devaney, Jen Passaretti from Daughters of the American Revolution, members of our police and fire departments, all of the various organizations that assembled for the Color Guard, both indoors and outdoors. Matt Bailey, you did a great job with the Pledge of Allegiance. I think you've been practicing that since you were 5 years old. Natalie Jambor, Senator, our delegation from Hartford, you're going to hear from Major Hardy and Bob Bender, Reverend Dean Warburton. Thank you all for being here. Wallingford is so grateful and honored to be a stop on this tremendously important journey. While the holidays can be a time of great celebration, they can also serve as a reminder to those who are painfully no longer with us. Wreaths Across America, in its near 2 decades, has placed millions, literally millions of wreaths at military graves throughout the world. While this might be a small acknowledgement of a lost loved one, the scale to which this has grown is nothing less than overwhelming and heartwarming. Mr. Hanson, Wallingford is honored to participate in your 2025 mission to remember, honor, and teach about the importance of our military, a constant reminder that freedom comes at a cost, and the cost is very personal to so many. Therefore, I proclaim, whereas Wreaths Across America is a national nonprofit dedicated to the mission to remember the fallen, honor those who serve and teach the value of freedom throughout the annual laying of wreaths at Arlington National Cemetery in over 1,200 locations nationwide. And the journey of wreaths to Arlington has become a powerful tradition, and Wallingford is honored to be the Connecticut stop on this year's convoy, offering our community a unique opportunity to participate in this meaningful tribute. And the convoy will include 15 tractor trailers, all parked on South Main Street. Gold and Blue Star families, military veterans, Patriot Guard riders, and Wreaths Across America founders Morrill and Karen Worcester, all united in honoring our nation's heroes. Whereas on Tuesday, December 9th, the Parade of Wreaths will travel through Wallingford, stopping at Town Hall, where the town, in partnership with local and state dignitaries, veterans groups, first responders, and community organizations, will welcome the convoy, participate in a ceremonial wreath laying at the Town Hall monuments, and host a community remembrance ceremony. Now, therefore, I, Mayor of this town of Wallingford, do hereby proclaim December 9, 2025 as Wreaths Across America Day in our community. Encourage all residents to join in this public event to support the mission of Wreaths Across America and pay tribute to our military and veterans. And while not all could fit in these council chambers, I don't think I've ever seen Town Hall this full mid-afternoon on a weekday. We are tremendously grateful to be your stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, Mr. Wayne Hanson, who is with us today and is the chairman of the board of Wreaths Across America, will share remarks on the mission and the meaning of this annual journey.
Well, I really wasn't told that I was going to be making some remarks here today, but I've got to say, this morning we were at Polar Park and we were freezing, and to come into this town and see the warm welcome, people standing on the streets welcoming us here, warmed us all up. Yeah, I mean, just an amazing, amazing tribute, understanding of what we're doing, why we're doing it. We can't forget our veterans. We can't forget those especially who made that ultimate sacrifice so we can have the freedoms we enjoy today. Look forward to, now we're headed towards Arlington, but we're headed also to almost 5,600 other locations this year where we'll be distributing a little over 3 million wreaths to honor our veterans, to remember them. And while we appreciate making today a national a warming welcome to us. I just got word that Congress has approved us for December 13th. It's going to be called a National Wreaths Across America Day all across the country. So in closing, I just want to say I've met a couple of you already. Some of my Vietnam brothers served, one of which we served in the same country, a little city in Phu Bai. It's great to see them, and I always like to say to my Vietnam brothers and sisters, welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Our guest speaker today is Major Justin Harty of the United States Marine Corps. Major Harty has been a steadfast advocate for veterans and their families and is a respected leader in both military and community life. Please join me in welcoming Major Harty.
The measure of a nation's honor is how it treats those who never came home. That principle guides the gathering here today in the solemn quiet of remembrance and in the loud, enduring presence of gratitude. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolute tremendous honor and privilege to be here with you today, to stand with the grateful patriots of New England, and more specifically, Wallingford, at the only Wreaths Across America stop in the great state of Connecticut. I am confident that our nation's heroes are looking down at this event with pride, witnessing their fellow Americans do their best to honor the immeasurable sacrifice that preserves our American way of life. My name is Major Justin Harty. I'm a father, husband, proud American, and third-generation Marine. These are, of course, titles and descriptors of me that I'm very proud of, but what I've been thinking about lately are the things that enabled or allowed me to possess those titles. We often hear that who we become is shaped by our experiences, the influence of others, and our environment. I believe this to be true, and I would like to share some of the conclusions I came to during my reflection on this reality. The first conclusion is that the shaping process of who I am, and even who we are here today, started long before we physically entered this earth, and over 250 years ago during our nation's founding. If we were to look at Arlington National Cemetery and other cemeteries around our great country, the dates etched in the countless headstones marking our heroes would remind us of this conclusion. We would notice that the positive influence on us spans centuries and during events we do not even know of. There are acts of heroism scattered throughout our history that have allowed us to be who we are today. This is a humbling realization. We are the beneficiaries of a foundation laid by generations of Americans, many of whom we'll never know by name. Their sacrifices, their struggles, and their victories shape the freedoms we experience. The second conclusion is that while my father and grandfather have had profound impacts on me as prior generation Marines within my direct lineage, the number of individuals that have also contributed on this influence is in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Some may say it's dramatic observation, but I leave it at more of absurdity to conclude that we are shaped only by those we have had physical contact with throughout our life. Americans like Gunnery Sergeant John Basilone, Lieutenant Michael Murphy, Specialist Travis Atkins, First Lieutenant Travis Mannion, and many other Americans have had a profound impact on us all. The silent influence of the fallen, the quiet strength of the living, that's what molds our collective character and courage. The third and final conclusion goes back to the opening. The measure of a nation's honor is how it treats those who never came home. The positive influence we all have the privilege of experiencing is not indefinite and only continues for future generations if we remember them, honor them, and act in a way that would make them proud. We have an obligation to not take this positive influence that has been building over centuries for granted. The repercussions of providing us this virtuous standard has been unfathomable pain, heartache, and sacrifice for so many Americans and their families. It is at this moment that I would like to personally offer my immense thanks and gratitude for all of the Gold Star families in attendance today. I speak for a grateful nation when I say that your lost loved ones are not only etched in history as heroes of freedom, but also etched in each one of our hearts, minds, and spirit as the best example of the lengths unearthly individuals are willing to go to preserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They have positively influenced all of us here today and have given us a standard to strive for. Each of these conclusions may seem distinct at first glance, spanning across generations, shaped by countless individuals, rooted in national ideals, but what binds them together is one powerful truth. We are who we are because others made the decision to serve something greater than themselves. I am incredibly fortunate in that I can validate these conclusions every day with the job I am privileged to possess. I currently am the owner of Our Nation's Promise, a company that supports the mission of repatriating missing in action Americans from our nation's conflicts dating back to World War II. When conducting research, I read about the heroes that have positively influenced me decades before I entered this earth. During the investigative and recovery efforts, I walked the sacred ground these heroes gave the ultimate sacrifice and feel their presence, reminding me of what it takes. During times in which we are fortunate enough to find our heroes' remains and or their personal effects, I get to witness the evidence that these monumental Americans existed and feel the humility of being in proximity to them physically. There are times we may find a wedding band, and etched inside of it is the name of their loving wife that would have done anything for their hero to return home and finish their life together. This level of sacrifice is hard to comprehend, and these Americans and their families are not forgotten. We especially remember you today, but we'd be wise to remember you every day, trying to live by your example and by exhibiting a fraction of your courage. You will soon be reunited with your loved ones and with your brothers and sisters in arms. You will soon be forever buried in the rolling hills of Arlington to join the company of generation of American heroes worthy of your presence. A grateful nation will ensure this and that your name lives on in perpetuity. Whether it was the founders who dared to declare freedom against impossible odds, the decades of Americans who answered the call, or the heroes we honor today who made the ultimate sacrifice, each shaped the environment we live in by their commitment, their example, and their courage. That shared spirit of service is what forms the backbone of our national character. It's what drives us to show up today, not out of obligation, but out of reverence. And that's why events like this, Wreaths Across America, matter so deeply. They aren't symbolic gestures. They are continuations of a sacred commitment to honor those whose legacy we carry in the way we live, lead, and remember. I would like to close by offering thanks. I would first like to thank Con Bernard for all the hard work he's put into this and invited me to speak today. I'd also like to thank the Wreaths Across America Committee, specifically Bob Beaumont, Liz Landau, Bob Devaney, and Roz Gallagher for their efforts on this monumental and important event. I'd like to thank my father, Aaron Hardy, for the example he has set and for making the long drive up here from New Jersey to support this event. I would also like to thank every one of you in attendance today. You truly humble me and are the greatest example for Americans to follow. I'd like to thank Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency for their resolute commitment in repatriating our American heroes back to their families in a grateful nation. Finally, I would like to thank the long list of Americans that have sacrificed and given so much, sometimes all, for this American way of life. I may not know your names, but I do know you have had a profound impact on shaping the good parts of who I am, and that I will always try to emulate a fraction of your strength and courage throughout my life. I wish you all the best holiday season. God bless you, God bless America, and Semper Fidelis.
Thank you, Major. At this time, representatives of the United States Armed Forces will recognize all veterans of each branch who are with us today. As each branch is named, a wreath will be presented to a veteran in their honor, representing that branch. If there are other members of the U.S. Armed Forces who are veterans of that branch, as we call forward that branch, I invite you to stand as well. Representing the United States Army, Rosemary DeAngelis. Representing the United States Navy, John Bonnell. Representing the United States Marine Corps, Roy Cannon. Representing the United States Air Force, Robert Chatfield. And on behalf, representing the United States Coast Guard, George Messier. These wreaths symbolize gratitude, remembrance, and the enduring respect of a grateful nation. At this time, Robert Bender will offer God Bless the USA.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Yet the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, to the shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA. There's a pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I'll gladly stand up next to you and present you still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Now I'll ask the Reverend Dean Warburton to come forward to offer us some words of prayer.
The Spirit is here in Wallingford, a spirit of love, respect, and care. Let us pray. Loving God, be with us in this sacred moment as we bless the work of Wreaths Across America. Today we take time to reflect on the sacrifices made by the brave men and women who have served in the armed forces of the United States of America. In this moment, we gather to express gratitude, offer prayers for their families through the generations, and remember the courage and dedication of those who, throughout 250 years, have protected our freedoms as Americans. Many of these freedoms are enshrined in the Bill of Rights. Written by James Madison in 1791, these rights make up the first 10 amendments of the United States Constitution, and they include freedom of speech, the right to practice a religion, the right to assemble. They prohibit unreasonable searches and seizures and require that an accused person has a public trial by jury. Therefore, we must always exercise a deep appreciation for these freedoms. These ideals are the building blocks of our precious and enduring democracy. Today, we are adding our humble prayers, thanksgivings, and blessings as these magnificent evergreen wreaths make their way to Arlington National Cemetery. There they will mark the graves of many heroes this Christmas season, women and men who knew and understood well that freedom requires sacrifice. Thank you, loving God, for the devotion of so many dedicated and gifted men and women in our military ranks these 250 years. Lord, as we remember the words, freedom is never free, we thank you for the sacrifices of our veterans. Bless them always with your strength and love. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Warburton, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Before we conclude, I'm going to invite everyone to join us outside for the placement of wreaths at the monuments of those who've served in our community here in Wallingford. Participants in this portion of the ceremony will include Mayor Vincent Cervoni, Town Council Chairman Joseph Marone, George Messier of the Wallingford Service Office, the Veteran Service Officer for Wallingford, our Police Chief John Ventura, our Fire Chief James Buck, our Board of Education Chair, Jennifer Passaretti, as well as Lindsay Jessup from the Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs. A very special thank you to all of our Blue Star families who truly understand what service means, and to our Gold Star families who understand what that sacrifice looks like. When you had that heart-wrenching day where you received a flag, you were told that it was on behalf of a grateful nation, and we are honored to be able to show that that gratitude of your nation continues. And we send you forward on to Arlington with all of our love and prayers for you for a safe journey as you get there. And our ceremony will continue outside for the placement of the wreaths. if the dignitaries from the stage would please gather for a group shot with a photographer.